Salutations, Internet. I'm SquirrelHorse, and welcome to Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth. So I have a story for you guys. This is actually my third time trying to record this game, and I'm probably not going to get much further than I did before. It's almost as though the Cthulhu cult itself is trying to prevent me from playing this game, but I'm not going to let that happen, and if they come after me, well, if they come after me, then I might not ever release this video. But yeah, my story with this game, I'm going to try to keep the intro brief. Lovecraft is an author that I always wanted to read as a kid, but I wasn't allowed to read it, and I think the one time I did get my hands on it, it was a little too advanced for me at the time. But so for my birthday a little bit ago, I got H.P. Lovecraft, Great Tales of Horror, and I read a little bit of it, and I'm enjoying what I am reading so far. I finished Call of Cthulhu, and I started reading Shadow over Innsmouth, which is what this is based on, and I'm probably not going to finish that story till I finish this game, just because I want to go in completely blind, you know? And yeah, from what I hear, this is supposed to be a really solid horror game, and so I'm hoping that that is the case. Obviously, I'm not going to be fazed by anything in this intro we're about to play, because I've already played it. We're going to play on Private Investigator. I'm assuming that's the medium difficulty. And okay, so it's Arkham Asylum, probably not the Arkham Asylum you're thinking of, but yeah. Actually, is the Arkham Asylum in Batman maybe based on? I don't know. Somebody look that up for me. Or is Arkham Asylum an actual place? I don't know.
And of what I've always been. All that I was is now lost. Hope, purpose, pleasure, all meaningless. I now walk in the shadows between worlds, and it is there I have finally glimpsed upon what lives in the dark corners of the earth.
So this is my third time watching this intro, and I honestly have nothing to say, so I'm just going to sit here in silence while those of you who have never played this game before get to experience this for the first time. And it's also, it's all done in this like widescreen angle, and the widescreen, the bars on the top and bottom of the screen, you know, they're kind of cut out. So like when I render the video, you know, it's as though they're not there, and so I have to actually put those in myself to make it look right. And yeah. So yeah, this game is pretty old. I don't know exactly what year it came out. Actually, I do. It came out this year. And so yeah, this guy's hanging himself. Not having a good time, obviously. And here's the doctor. And he's saving him. Yay! I honestly wish that I could have just kept my first reaction to this. It would have been, it was so much better. I was just kind of like right now I'm just kind of trying to, you know, not make it so boring and have me just sitting here in silence. But it's like now that I know a little more of the story, I don't want to spoil, you know, does that make sense? The ignorant and the deluded are, I think, in a strange way to be envied. That which is not known does not trouble us, while an imagined but insubstantial peril does not harm us. To know the truth behind... Wow, that was rude. Gone. So game tips, I'm leaving game tips on for now. If those get really annoying, I'm just going to take them off. So just let me know if you think they're getting annoying. So 6.5 years ago, that's 1915, I believe. Because I know we were in the asylum. I don't know. It'll tell me. So we're playing as Jack Walters. We were Smoking Man, like Bigby Wolf. That's pretty fun. If you don't know who Bigby Wolf is, then, well, I'm sorry for you. He's from Fables and The Wolf Among Us. That's Bigby Wolf. So, here's our first location. And they seem to be doing that fog thing, and I think that started in Silent Hill. But the thing where horror games would put in a fog, and, you know, it obscured what was in the distance.
What's the beef?
Sorry, Jack.
I won't talk over the story.
We had to call. This fellow will only talk to you. Name's Victor Holt.
Don't know any Victor.
He's the leader of this weird cult that moved in here a few months back.
Weird.
Got about 20 followers. They've been causing trouble all over town. Stealing, going through folks' trash, hanging around outside people's homes at all hours. No one ever presses charges, though. They're a screwy bunch. They've got the locals scared. So tonight, we were just passing, you know, doing the normal rounds, when we heard gunshots fired from their property.
Gunshots? Hang on there. No one said anything about gunshots. Who have we got out here?
Yeah, just me, Nichols, and a few new recruits.
Well, that's just great.
That's just
Lead the
great.
way, Robert.
Voice acting isn't too bad,
check
I
out
don't
this
think.
crazy gang of yours.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so they're doing this fog thing, and watching out, it's more like water. But I mean, over here they just didn't complete that side of the... Oh wait, no, that's in the water. Okay, that makes a little more sense. Oh, I'm sorry, he's calling me. But like that thing where in the distance they have the fog, was that started in Silent Hill? And it's kind of weird because...
How you doing, kid?
Good, sir. Is it true what they say about you?
Maybe.
Depends on what they're saying.
That you've cracked cases where there was no evidence.
You shouldn't believe everything you hear.
Right.
So you know, normally in a game it's WASD to move. In this game it's WAXD, and S is like the interact button.
Jack,
Talk to this guy.
Officer Nichols will brief you at the top. Be careful.
Okay.
We're wide open here.
We're going up here.
I've got you.
Evening, Jack. Glad you could
Hey.
join the freak show.
How's it
Good.
looking, Henry?
I don't like this one bit, Jack. Check the alley on the right. Victor Holt's over there in the shadows. He's waiting for you.
Victor
Can we
Holt.
trust him?
Probably not.
Nope, but we've got you covered. You better take it slowly, though. They're a bit twitchy.
So, everything I know about the Cthulhu... Oh, well, someone just got shot. Was I shot? No one else seems to... Oh, no, he was shot. Go, run! Running slow for some reason. Oh, this guy disappeared. Oh, my God. Okay, we're running. Okay, so what was I saying? Oh, I've read Call of Cthulhu, which introduced the idea of the Cthulhu cult, and, well, of course, Cthulhu. But, and I didn't interact with much the last 2 times I played. I think I can take this. Okay, as I continue to translate...
As I continue to translate the narcotic fragments, I become more and more eager to contact my Yithian masters.
Yithian.
These beings truly are gods to us. Their intellect and knowledge surpasses ours in ways impossible to comprehend. I know now just how insignificant mankind is in the universe. A doomed and simple species thrown up as a side effect of an experiment by the elder things. It is a blessing that such flawed creatures as ourselves have such a short and limited future.
Okay, I didn't read that last time. That's cool. Okay, picked up my first journal item, so we can check our journal for stuff if we want. We're not going to do that with that, though. Where am I going? So yeah, I've read Call of Cthulhu, which introduces the Cthulhu cult, and if you haven't read it, I would highly recommend it. I honestly, you know, as a modern person of the modern age, you know, I kind of thought that it was a slow read, but when it really started getting, you know, into the whole Cthulhu stuff and what's going on with him, it was really, I thought it was really compelling, like especially the third part of the story, if anyone's read it. But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. So basically, the Cthulhu cult is this like seemingly all-knowing and, you know, just terrifying cult, obviously.
Looks almost like a flaming eye. I should take a closer look.
And, you know, the more that I think on it, this is just me, this is kind of just me, like, thinking out loud. But I would think, okay, so here's my 2 previous saves. I would think that, you know, today the idea of a group of people knowing everything about you isn't as, you know, out there. Just because of the internet and how much people put themselves, you know, online and stuff. And the fact that, you know, nearly every laptop has a webcam on it. But, meanwhile, this guy's dying.
At last.
Well, okay. Thanks for having me, I guess.
An old wardrobe.
You know, I mean, this party isn't the worst party I've been to. I mean, it definitely has a lot less death than the last party I went to. But, it's fine. Let's go in here. What was I saying? I'll finish my point after this cutscene.
Don't shoot. I'm unarmed.
Ah, we've been expecting you, Mr. Walt.
Why were they expecting me? Why did they... I hope that'd be answered.
He recognized me, and it sounded like he was going to get up. I better keep my distance
Yeah, I
from
gotta
the
go here,
window,
go away from here.
or I'll end up like this nut job.
Probably not a good idea. Just, hey guys. That'd be pretty funny though. Like, hey guys, there's no more cultists. That'd be pretty funny, I guess. Unfortunate, but funny. So here's a key right
He's
here.
dead.
Oh, no,
Looks like a key. Could come in handy.
So I would imagine back then in when was Cthulhu written? When was the first story written? Was it back in? It was in the 1920s, I believe. So that was before the internet and, like, you know, how much exposure we have online nowadays. So I'm sure back then it was pretty terrifying to imagine, you know, a cult knowing everything about you. You know, that would be almost unnatural. And oh god, everything's getting fuzzy. On here's the Cthulhu cults, peoples. Oh, you Cthulhu cults and your mass suicides. You're so funny. Can I talk? I mean, not talking direct.
Nothing of interest.
Nothing of interest. Everything's getting fuzzy. I think that has something to do with my sanity. Because that's another, like, type of game I've been wanting to get into. Games that use sanity as a mechanic. Because I've never played a game like that. I always wanted to see, you know, how was that explored? And how can that possibly be expanded upon in, you know, future games and stuff? Can I open either of these?
It won't open.
Okay, well, that's the root of it. So yeah, Cthulhu cult, scary. Cthulhu, scarier. I'm not going to talk at all about the being Cthulhu just because I feel that would be spoiling a lot.
It's unlocked.
And it'll be a lot more fun just to see it unfold as we go along if you don't know it. So here's a bunch of stuff about me. Can I...
What the hell is going on? It seems they've been tracking my movements.
Yeah, that's pretty scary to find out some cult's been looking at you. It's like... I don't know.
Another key.
I thought I'd have a joke, but I didn't. What?
I don't understand.
Oh, okay.
I mean, all of these photos.
I didn't trigger this scene last time, I don't think. I don't remember it, at least.
There must be some kind of mistake. Why would they want me here? It must be an old case. Something I've forgotten. Some screwball with a grudge, maybe. Think. I've gotta think.
Okay. So, looking for things to say. I don't think I have anything off the top of my head to say. So I believe there's nothing else to explore. We're not going to be trying to 100% this game either. So at least not, you know, this time because this is my first time playing. But
for nutcases,
yeah,
they seem quite literate.
Quite a lot of books. Oh, well, I hear a man groaning.
There are definitely some strange sounds coming from this side of the room.
And so here's a really cool, so here's a cool little camera trick right here. You know, right here, it doesn't look like there's any, you know, beyond there. But when you pass here, you can see that there's a trapdoor there. Okay, so somebody is either being tortured or they are having a very good time.
Shit, that did not
Could be either or. So we're gonna go down the ladder. And then we're just gonna break. Yep. And
well, that's just swell.
I assume this was the guy who was groaning.
He's dead. The beam must have fallen and crushed his skull.
I'm wondering why he was screaming, though. What's happening to him? Oh, well, that almost cracked my skull. Going through. Here's the human body, and here's the human skull, and here's a dead body, and oh, there's roaches. I can't stand roaches, as most people know.
Plenty of them. Something dreadful has been going on down here.
I don't know why roaches are such a visceral. What's the word I'm looking for? Such a primal fear for me. But like just seeing them, even just in a video game, just makes me so nervous and like just so tense. And here's a weird room, and well, that does not look good. This person does not seem to be having a good time, and so weird. So here's all his body parts, intestines, kidneys, yeah, and brain. And so what you're supposed to do is, this was a jump scare for me last time, but I just kind of press this, and it does that. And
I'm not touching it again.
He's dead. So now we take this crystal.
The machine must have overloaded.
Can I take this?
Crystal's still warm.
Yeah, okay. What was I saying? Oh, roaches, yeah. I've been trying to find a horror game that makes use of roaches, because I think because that scares me so much, I think that a game that uses roaches as their main source of horror
this tunnel feels like it's gonna collapse at any moment.
Very much, you know, get to me. But there doesn't seem to be any. At least not any good ones. There's a pretty old one called Bad Mojo, but I've heard that's just a very campy, like, you know, full motion, like, live action video kind of thing. Kind of like Night Trap, but with a roach. And a guy gets turned into a roach. And it seems weird. So here's this mysterious thing right here.
What the hell is that?
That is a good question, Jack. I'm hoping that this...
Looks like
put this here.
something's been removed from it.
Yeah. I'm a console peasant. Please go easy on me. So we put that there. But yeah, I really hope that this video is still entertaining despite me, you know, just kind of going through the motions, knowing exactly what to do. That's going to go away with the next episode, I think. I know exactly where I'm going to be stopping this episode. And it's not going to be that much longer. We're just going to be going through a few... I think we just have to get through another cutscene past this point. And so yeah, this was a portal, it seems. Portal to what exactly? I don't know. I don't know. I think I'm glad that I'm going into this with limited knowledge of the Cthulhu mythos. You know, like, I don't know how much it actually explains about what's going on. Because, oh, look, there's Greg. Greg, we invited him to the party. And, oh my god, Greg, you didn't say +1 on your invite. Why did you... That wasn't funny. I'm sorry. That was a really dumb joke. I'm sorry. Hopefully that didn't make you want to click off. Just as the body can't... Well, okay. The Diary of Jack Walters, 1922. So that's where we are.
It's been more than 6 years since I entered that strange house in Boston.
I think that I was saying something, but I kind of trailed off. I'll see if I can remember it
But to
at the
me,
beginning of next episode.
It was just 5 months ago.
If it matters.
Amnesia, the doctors called it. Probably brought on by acute mental stress.
Bodies?
I remember investigating the far side of the library. There was screaming. According to the police report, they had searched the house for hours, only to find me later collapsed on the floor. When my eyes opened and I spoke, my colleagues recoiled in fear. There was something unnatural in my voice and blank gaze. They committed me to Arkham Asylum, where I was diagnosed with severe schizophrenia. As it became clear that I presented no danger to either myself or others, I was released from the asylum's care. I have learned little of my activities in the 6 years that followed. The accounts I've been able to piece together show much of my time was spent in travel and study. I maintain a fanatical infatuation with the occult, delving deep into volumes concerning witch cults and dark legends, often in languages unfamiliar to my own. When I reawakened 5 months ago, exactly 6 years after entering that house in Boston, no trace was left of what had been a secondary personality. I was myself again, or at least what I believed myself to be.
I'm so excited.
Return to normal life
get
has
into
been a
this
painful process. In recent days, my dreams have been plagued by cosmic landscapes.
I don't think you can tell because
and
I'm
I've
kind of
become
just like
fearful of
sitting
my
here
own
silently, not
reflection.
saying anything.
I'm beginning to
But,
remember things from that
You know, it's
day.
my third time seeing
More
this
than
scene,
6 years
so I don't have
past
anything to say.
that I've told no one else.
I'm honestly struggling to, like, you know, say anything. I'm just kind of sitting here. I'm sorry about that.
Walters.
Hello, Mr. Walters. My name's Arthur Anderson.
Arthur Anderson.
I need your help finding a missing person.
I don't take that kind of job.
Did you get my package?
There's a dog barking outside. Hopefully you can't hear it.
Hold on.
So, pop another cigarette. Well, there's that money.
What exactly do
Bunch
you
of
want
ones,
from me,
though.
Mr. Anderson?
Don't know how much that is back then.
It's one of my store managers, you see. Brian's his name. Brian Burnham. Nice lad. He disappeared recently from the First National grocery store in Innsmouth.
Innsmouth? Never heard of it.
I'm excited to explore Innsmouth.
Small fishing town on the coast, not far from Arkham. I'd like to see you in person before you leave.
Hold on there a minute. I didn't agree to take this what the hell? I'll be here all day anyway.
To Innsmouth we go. So I think the next cutscene is just going to be me on the bus. So we're going to be able to just, you know, sit here and just, you know, I can talk and say what I want to. Oh, wait, I have to read this. Okay. I have a new client, Mr. Arthur Anderson, the regional manager of the First National grocery store chain. It appears that the First National grocery store in Innsmouth was recently burglarized, and its manager, one Brian Burnham, is missing. From what I have been able to gather, Burnham is something of a young rogue. A friend of the family, Mr. Anderson gave him the job as a favor. How nice of him. Burnham is looking like the prime suspect for the robbery, but there are a few things that don't add up, not to Anderson and not to me. For instance, why would Burnham force an entry into the store when he had a full set of keys, free access to the cash register, and the full combination to the back of the office safe? To misdirect any investigation? If that was his plan, why did he disappear? Following my conversation with Mr. Anderson, I found out what I could about the ancient town of Innsmouth. For generations, the crumbling seaport and its people have been shunned by neighboring communities. Outsiders are unwelcome there, and there are superstitious tales of a strange element in the town's oldest families. They are of mixed blood, so the stories go. Whatever that's supposed to mean. The usual Hicktown prejudice, no doubt. After making a brief visit to Innsmouth, my client came away distrustful of the local authorities. He isn't buying their line that Burnham robbed the place, and he wants to know what happened to him. Only one bus goes to Innsmouth, and tomorrow afternoon I'll be on it. It feels good to have a purpose after 5 months trying to break through my amnesia. I also feel a little apprehensive. Maybe it's the wild stories about the town, or maybe it's just because I haven't had a case in so long. Okay, so now we're going to be on a bus, and I do not expect the reader to believe what I am about to relate. Any sane mind must reject such a fantastic tale, and yet I do not know which could be worse. For the story to be truth, or from the start of your investigation in Innsmouth, you will have a permanent supply of morphine. A shot of morphine will temporarily suspend any movement speed reductions and arm wavering caused by injuries. Use with caution. So we're going to get injured then. Pay attention to all dialogue, even if not directly involved. Both enemy and friendly characters will provide vital gameplay clues. That's a neat little thing to add in. You know, I can't think of many times where, like, the enemy will say something that helps the player. It's not in modern games, I suppose.
Driver, how far
Suppose Batman Arkham City does that.
I'll drop you at the town square of Innsmouth.
Yep, to town square we go.
Keeps out wanderers looking for work. We don't want those folks like that interfering with our affairs.
Is the bus from Arkham always this empty?
Probably.
Aye, and we prefers it that way. Not many come to Innsmouth.
But what about trade? Surely the port needs business.
Innsmouth has the means to look after her own.
I guess I'm not going to be able to talk. I guess they're going to have a conversation. Okay, so what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I read the first part of Innsmouth, of Shadow of Innsmouth, and it pretty much did a pretty good job, you know, explaining, you know, just describing the town and how it looks. And I don't know, I just thought, like, it makes sense that this would be the one that they want to adapt into a video game. And that statue doesn't have a head. Don't remember that. It's a hotel right here.
End of the line.
Good. Now we get off the bus, and we get to continue our adventure. And I get to end the episode. And the next episode, hopefully I get to actually do fun stuff. I don't know when I'm going to be releasing this. I'm recording this, you know, in late August. I was thinking of uploading it in October and have it be like, oh, October, month of scary stuff, Cthulhu, Talk to this guy?
Could you direct me to the First National grocery store? I hear they have a shop in town.
I don't know nothing about that.
Okay.
Oh, well, you see, I'm looking for a young lad called Brian Burnham. I'm a friend of the family. He worked in the store.
Don't know who you're talking about, fella.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm just gonna
Chit-chat to him's gonna get me no place fast.
Probably. So I'm gonna save here. Go over on my other save. And we are done with this episode of Call of Cthulhu Dark Corners of the Earth. Hopefully it went well despite me knowing everything that was gonna go on. I'm gonna keep this episode short just in case something else goes wrong. I'm gonna have to re-record it again. Then in which case I'm probably just gonna not be playing this game. But yeah, this is supposed to be a really amazing horror game, and I'm really excited to experience it, and hopefully it leads to good videos. So anyway, have a lovely day, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Bye!